Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV, Baba Bagede Imo TV. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. Bandits are swarming our region. Now, northeast, governors cry out. Autumn drags Mayeti Allah to international court. Oshibajo to represent Buhari at Queen Elizabeth's funeral. ASU strike, Buhari meets pro-chancellors, vows further consultations. Commotion as police tear gas obedience in Ebonyi, disperse rally. Chinese man murders Kanu girlfriend for betraying him. Man arrested for approaching Queen Elizabeth's coffin. That's coming from the foreign story. And on sport, FIFA bans Orji Okonkwo for 4 years. And second sports story, EPL Mikel Arteta disagrees with Arsene Wenger over Arsenal. Now the news in detail. The Northeast Governors Forum says the mass exodus of bandits from the Northwest region has made the relative peace in the region vulnerable. Our correspondent reports that governors of Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, and Yobe State were present, except Taraba State, who was represented at its 7th meeting held in Gombe. The group started these on Friday night in its 9-point communique, read by Mai Buni, governor of Yobe State, and signed by the chairman of the Northeast Forum, Professor Babagana Zulum, the governor of Borno State. The Northeast Governors Forum resolved that there is a need for a coordinated roadmap with the support of the federal government to dismantle the criminals. According to the forum, there was a nexus between mining activities and insecurity, stressing the need for strict compliance with the Land Use Acts. The forum noted the relative peace being experienced in the sub-region, especially the reduced indices of farmer-air clashes, as encouraging. However, there is increasing vulnerability of the region into insecurity due to the mass movements of the bandits, who are gradually being pushed out of the northwest by the security forces. On the influx of the bandits, there is an urgent need to launch a coordinated security map in conjunction with the security agencies and the federal government. Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State has vowed to drag the foremost Fulani socio-cultural group, Mayeti Allah, to the International Criminal Court, ICC, over invasion and killings in the state allegedly carried out by the Fulani herdsmen. The resolution was made known by the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Michael Busa, who hinted that killings going on in the state has escalated. He explained that it was important for the government to take necessary action since, from available records, the masterminds of genocide in the state were already known by their victims. The commissioner noted the recent threat by the National Secretary General of Mayeti Allah, Al-Aji Saleh Al-Hassan, to drag Governor Samuel Otom before the ICC said the threat was preemptive, given their fear that the state government would take the group to the court. I think what they said was just to preempt what the Benue state government would do to them, because we recall that they have always come up to justify and own up to the killings in the state. So the entire genocide and ethnic cleansing that are going on in the state have been put on their doorsteps. We have records of their statement and all that is needed. Moving on to the next story as regards the funeral of the late Queen Elizabeth II. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo will on Saturday travel to London to join other world leaders to attend the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II. Mr. Osinbajo will represent President Muhammadu Buhari at the funeral. A statement by his media aide, Lau Luakode, said on Saturday. VP Osinbajo is leaving Abuja today for London to represent Nigeria at the state funeral for the late Queen Elizabeth II. He will join King Charles, the royal family, and other world leaders at a number of events and receptions, including a bilateral meeting, Mr. Akode said on Twitter. Queen Elizabeth passed away last Friday. Funeral service of the late United Kingdom's monarch is scheduled for Monday, September 19th. As regards the ASU strike, the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired on Friday, promised to extend ongoing consultations between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities to end its 7-month-old strike. I will make further consultations and I will get back to you, Buhari said to the chairman and select members of pro-chancellors of federal universities at the State House, Abuja. According to a statement signed by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, the president promised to engage in further consultations with relevant stakeholders towards ending the protracted strike by the university's lecturers. The statement is titled ASU Strike. President Buhari meets with pro-chancellors of universities, promises further consultations. The president said, without necessarily going back on what is already established policy, I will make further consultations and I will get back to you. The pro-chancellors were led to the meeting by Professor Nimi Briggs, who said they had come to meet with the president in three capacities: as president and commander-in-chief, as father of the nation, as the visitor to the federal universities. Moving on to the next story coming from Ebonyi State. 3 and something happened as there is a fracas in Abakaliki, the state capital of Ebonyi State, where supporters of Peter Obi have Labour Party gathered Saturday morning for their 1 million march. Daily Post learned that Obi supporters, popularly called Obedient, were taken off from the People's Club area, but some thugs allegedly working for another party in the state stormed the rally venue. A source hinted that the police also moved in, threw tear gas canisters, and dispersed the rally. The policemen were alleged to have claimed that their action was a directive from the Ebonyi State government. In a trending video, the youth could be seen running in different directions, with smoke from the tear gas billowing. However, it was gathered that the Obedient are regrouped at the Mile 50 area of the state, from where they are going ahead with the rally. To Kano State. A lady, Umm Kulthum of Kabuga Quarters, Dorai Baba in Kano, has on Friday night been allegedly stabbed to death by her boyfriend, a Chinese national known as Geng Kwanrong, for betraying him. The police in Kano confirmed the incident through its spokesman, SP Abdullahi Aruna Kiyawa, who explained that the suspect, Geng 47, committed a crime after scaling the fence of the deceased residence to gain access, where he stabbed her severely until she gave up the ghost. Geng alleged that he was deceived by Omu, who was his girlfriend, and promised to marry him but betrayed him even after he had spent so much money on her. The suspect further stated that he was angered by her deception and decided to attack and kill the deceased at a residence. The police spokesman further stated that the mother of the deceased raised alarm during the act, and police was immediately alerted of the development, where the Commissioner of Police, Abubakar Lawan, directed the DPO, Dorai Baba, to take charge of the situation. Deng has since been transferred to the state headquarters at Bompai for further investigation and prosecution. Meanwhile, late Humo has been buried Saturday morning in Kano as the family members and friends mourn her sudden departure. Moving on to the foreign story. A man has been arrested after he approached Queen Elizabeth's second coffin from a queue of mourners in the Westminster's Hall. He was arrested under the Public Order Act and was taken into custody, Metropolitan Police said. The incident in Parliament occurred at about 22 hours BST on Friday night, the force said in a statement. In the live video feed of the Queen lying in state caught away for a brief period during the incident. A statement from Scotland Yard said around 2200 on Friday, 16 September, officers from the Metropolitan Parliamentary and Diplomatic Protection Command detained a man in Westminster Hall following a disturbance during the engagement. A policeman spokesperson said, "We are aware of an incident in Westminster's Hall in which a member of the public moved out of the queue and towards the catafalque. They are now being removed from the hall and queue restarted with a minimal disruption." Going on to the sports story. Former Golden Eaglet star Orji Okonkwo has been banned from football for 4 years. The 24-year-old was banned from the sport for an extended duration by the World Football Governing Body, FIFA. The ban on Okonkwo is the result of a doping violation discovered by the Italian National Anti-Doping Tribunal. George Ivan Palacio, chairperson of the FIFA Disciplinary Committee, confirmed the ban on Okonkwo in a statement put out by the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF. The ban on Okonkwo is now worldwide and extended, given the decision by FIFA after he stated his case. And to the second story from the EPL. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has insisted his team has a lot to improve on. The Spaniard was reacting to former boss Arsene Wenger's recent praise for the team. The Gunners are currently top of the Premier League table after achieving 5 straight table wins before losing to Manchester United on September 4th. Arteta was the Premier League manager for the month of August, becoming the first Gunners boss to win the August iteration of the prize since Wenger in 2004. Wenger coached Arteta as a player and helped raise and inspire him to take up a career in management and had claimed the team at no weak position. Wenger insisted there should not be ruled out of the title race this season. But I see a lot of things that we still have to improve on and get better at. We are heading in the right direction, but we can become much, much better. That concludes the world news from BGI TV. Before we go, some major headlines. Bandits are swarming our region. Northeast governors cry out. Autumn drags Mayeti Allah to international court. Oshibajo to represent Buhari at Queen Elizabeth's funeral. And on sports, FIFA bans Oji Okonkwo for 4 years. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Babagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe. Click on the notification bell, select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adibayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placement only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. Have a wonderful weekend.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million.